Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody! This podcast proudly presents to you the zero-time tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, JJ Brownlee, the Badass, JB Faulkner, Total Spotfest Live, with the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
And welcome back to Total Spotfest Live. I am JJ Brownlee, and the man to my right, he is to the right tonight, is going to be my co-host, the illustrious JB Faulkner.
Hello, fellow Itoh Simp Army members.
Oh, Itoh-chan. I don't know why I do it like that. Whatever.
It makes it.
We are joined actually tonight as well by very special guest, Jamie, is Kenny Omega's lead pyrotechnician, the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
Hey, man, everybody, you know, we've got our ups, we've got our downs, there's peaks, there's valleys. You know, that was a valley. I just hope that you take my full body of work into consideration before you make any, you know, executive decisions regarding that one moment.
I'm definitely not considering your full body. No offense, Nick. So, thank you guys for joining us here. This is our Thursday AEW and other wrestling podcast episode. As you know, we split these up. We had earlier this week Revolution, so we have quite a lot to talk about tonight with the post-Revolution. First Dynamite after Revolution. I don't know what to call it. It's the thing after the pay-per-view.
Fallout.
There we go. Words are great, y'all. Jamie, Nick, how are you guys doing?
Okay.
Yep, there it is.
Just stellar commentary every freaking time. I swear to God.
Well,
we had rainstorms go through Kansas City earlier tonight, and I think they washed away the rest of Nick's personality.
what little there already was. Yeah. Well, I'm doing spectacular.
See, that's how you do it, Nick. Okay.
You just want some enthusiasm, is that it?
I just want you to feign it. I don't care.
You want some jazz hands?
If we were recording this, absolutely. I'll take jazz hands. I want you to do jazz hands for the next 7 minutes. Okay, go.
Okay.
So, join the conversation. As always, follow us on Twitter at Total Spotfest. Follow us on YouTube as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's just Total Spotfest Live. Like, subscribe. You can comment on our videos. You can comment to us on Twitter. We're going to get into AEW Dynamite in just a moment. But before we do that, I'm not going to cover all the wrestling news for the past week because as we said, it's WrestleMania season. You know, there's all sorts of stuff going on. I did see that GCW's show, Clusterfuck, I think is what they're calling it. It got canceled for WrestleMania weekend. So that's one of the additional shows in the Tampa area around April 9th that's not going on. So that kind of sucks. It's always a special time when WrestleMania happens because all the independents just piggyback off of that weekend and just book a crap load of shows in the same city. So one less option for Gary J, Jeremy Wyatt, and all of our other favorite independent wrestlers. But fear not, because WWE has a new head of talent relations. It's a spry young gentleman by the name of John Laurinaitis.
Yay.
Brought back Laurinaitis. So,
Who the hell's that?
So, John Laurinaitis, he was over talent relations for a hot minute. He actually, the one time I sat front row at a Monday Night Raw in Kansas City, he shook my hand. He shook
look at
my
you.
hand. Fun fact, I'm actually wearing the exact same shirt today as I did there. So if you happen to go back to look at circa 2014, 15, that's when it happened. They were in Kansas City. John Laurinaitis was doing his thing.
Have you worn that shirt every day since? Is that why you just happen to be wearing it?
I think he's
today?
a Laurinaitis fanboy is what he's telling us here, is what he's trying to say.
Oh, no.
Who's some of this supposed talent that he recruited?
I mean, he doesn't.
Well, he's not recruiting. He's in charge of talent. So basically, the head of talent relations is the people who basically manage.
He like brings them beverages and things like that.
No, he like manages them. You know.
Are you okay?
What's a manager do?
Do you not have a job? I mean,
But what, for wrestling, I mean, what do you just make sure that there's costumes are clean, make sure they're on the bus at the right time, that sort of thing?
all right, you have their schedule. You coordinate their appearances. You do media stuff. Talent relations handles the talent and all their basically everything that's outside of a physical ring. They kind of handle for the character because the character is owned by the company.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
It's okay. Well, now that we got that dissertation about what the talent relations is, it's just John Laurinaitis is back. It's a headline. You are going to get on my damn nerves tonight. I can tell already, Nick. Gonna make me start to sigh over here. So he used to be a general manager of like SmackDown or Raw, whatever. So anyway, it's very underwhelming and it's very much a Vince McMahon move. So there's that. Good news coming out of WWE today, though. The first of the announcements for the Hall of Fame was released, and it's going to be. And I thought this was great. None other than Molly Holly.
Pretty psyched about that one, personally.
Yeah, Molly Holly's cool. I dig Molly Holly.
She's great. And how about it that we're getting the first announcement's usually like the headliner that they generally, they do. And the first announcement for the Hall of Fame this year is a female wrestler. So kudos to Molly Holly. Congratulations making it into the Hall of Fame. One last little note I want to get to before we get into Dynamite review is that there was some real cool rumblings last night or Tuesday night. This is released on Thursday, so 2 nights ago, on Impact, that Rich Swann and Moose are going to be fighting this weekend, I believe it is.
Yes.
Is that this Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah, on the next pay-per-view. Rich Swann is the Impact champion. Moose is the TNA World Heavyweight champion. He polished off the old TNA title belt and has been flaunting around it with like a year and a half. And finally last week, or a couple weeks ago, they officially sanctioned it as an actual title. And now they're going to unify them. So that's great. So they're unifying the titles on Impact. But it gets better because Saturday, April 24th, Impact Rebellion pay-per-view. The winner of that, Rich Swann, Moose, whoever unifies the Impact titles, is going to put that unified title up against Kenny Omega's AEW championship, the main event at Impact Rebellion, title versus title. That's pretty effing cool.
I think that is perfect, to be honest with you. I think with this whole, forbidden door completely busted down, and the invisible hand, as he likes to call himself, is making some moves. This one's pretty good. It's gonna make me want to probably buy this Impact pay-per-view because I mean we don't watch it because we don't get it on our freaking providers. Thanks ATTV, but it's one of those
and YouTube TV.
Yeah, so. It's just one of those things like I want to start watching more and more of it because they do have a good product. And the only way I can catch it is snippets on YouTube, like after it's done.
Right. I more or less watch like a highlight show of Impact every week. Mm-hmm. And this past week was cool. ODB had a great spot where, she got jumped by the rest of the women's division because she's challenging Deonna Purrazzo, who's on fire, for the women's title or the knockouts. I think they still call it the knockouts championship.
Yeah,
that probably. But she's challenging for that, and everybody came out in big brawl women to end the show, and it ended. And one of the great spots was Sue Young, or Susan as she is now called. She did like a low blow to ODB, and ODB just like sits there and like looks at the camera like, what the F are you doing? There's nothing down there. I love ODB, but so. Maybe we should do that. The 24th, that's going to be and that's the only match announced for the card, right? I mean, they have their pay-per-view coming up this weekend, so that's going to be a good one. Impact. Let's try and get a better TV deal. Let's get on a better network. No offense, Access TV. You're not on half the providers out there. Let's figure something out. So,
Yeah, I'm down. I would start watching it again for sure. Like hell, Ring of Honor is even on Fox Sports.
Right, every Saturday, like late night or whatever.
Yeah, like
they do
Saturday,
an hour
like
show
midnight.
or something.
Yeah,
I don't get Fox Sports anymore, so whatever.
I do.
Well, lucky you. You're one of 2 providers that gets Fox Sports. Okay, we're not getting into the whole TV wars thing. So let's. Well, Jamie, why don't you take it away? We're going to talk about AEW Dynamite for this past week, the Fallout show from Revolution.
Yes. Well, it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It is time for AEW Dynamite's Revolution Fallout. It is absolutely amazing. This show, okay, so it pissed me off a couple times, but then it totally redeemed itself. It's like
The lows weren't that low, which is the good thing.
yeah, it's like having a kid, like when your kid pisses you off, but then they totally redeem themselves by doing like some random kindness thing, like, oh, I did teach them well, but then they turn around to shit on you again, and then they do, it's what they do. So show opens up. I like this because it's definitely not the WWE feel. They open with a match, instantly with a match,
And straight off, yeah.
and not just any match. It's Ray Fenix versus Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks.
Woo!
Wow. Ray Fenix is on a whole nother level athletically. Matt Jackson actually looked pretty good. I mean, he's definitely more of a tag team guy, and that's fine. I just want to talk about 3 big spots of this match.
Okay.
There was an attempt for a top rope hurricanrana by Ray Fenix onto Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson reversed it into a ginormous powerbomb off the top rope.
That was nice.
Ugh. Like, it made...
Yeah, that was the best part of the match.
No.
For me, it was.
No.
Well,
It
for
was-
him,
it was
can
the
be.
best.
It's fine.
Well, okay. You simpleton.
There's different gradations of best.
No. False. So then the next one, which is probably my favorite. Jesus. This almost feels like a work. But the next one was a
I know where you're going with
Canadian
this.
destroyer.
Yeah.
Then right after that, Ray Fenix rolled out onto the floor, and Matt Jackson hits another Canadian destroyer on the floor.
It was a Canadian destroyer that led to a Canadian destroyer.
I mean,
Wow.
it's in my top 2 moves, the Canadian destroyer, and I didn't get to see just one. I got to see 2. It made my heart.
It was
pretty
good.
happy.
It was good. They worked on a little bit before, you could tell.
Well, that's what wrestlers do. Well, you were just in. Oh, Nick.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, no, it was the Destroyer City, man. What was your third spot, Jamie?
So my third spot was when Matt Jackson super kicked Ray Fenix, and Ray Fenix kind of staggered around. He did his little thing into the ropes, and then he came back to try to do his roundhouse kick, hashtag Chuck Norris, and then reversed right into yet another super kick, and Ray Fenix hits the ground, does an instant kip up, gets up, and then he kicks Matt Jackson in the face. It was just...
That was a good.
So
These
awesome.
2 work so well together. If you know their history, you've seen the Lucha Brothers versus the Bucks versus the Bros. One of the best rivalries. Like coming into AEW being formed, they were one of the first ones they announced, and they said flat out, "It's like we've been feuding with these guys. We've been going back and forth for the past year and a half, 2 years." And they're right. Every match that there's any combination of the Bucks and Lucha Brothers, just make sure you watch every last second of it. It's gold.
Yeah, there was also a moment where Ray Fenix was trying to kick Matt Jackson in the face, and he actually kicked Nick in the face because Nick was out there, obviously. Well, then Matt gets pissed, and he gets down, and he super kicks Pac in the face. And then Pac looked like he got electrocuted. I don't know how. It's just weird. Like he's just like giant, like going, like not the full knockout when you have your arms straight and stuff. It was just weird, but it still looked cool. Well, the winner of this match was Ray Fenix, and that was one hell of a way to start this whole thing. Definitely.
Like, can you imagine WWE just starting cold with a killer match? Take for example, like Raw. What if Raw last week started with McIntyre, Sheamus, just right? Welcome to Raw. Ding, ding, ding. Match go. I mean, they would never do it. They would never do it.
No, they wouldn't. And if they did, I probably wouldn't have fell asleep watching it like I did. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah, true. So I love how Dynamite definitely does that. So this is great, and we could talk about Phoenix for hours on end.
Nick, I'm
I mean, hours is a little much. Probably, we can spend a little bit of time. It's cool. I like him. I do have other things to do.
God damn you. All right. Well, I feel like we regret asking his opinion in the rest of the show. All right. So next, honestly, is probably the most fun of the segments, at least for me, because it really made
one of.
Yeah, it made light of a dark situation. In my opinion, it was a backstage segment, if you will, between Moxley and Kingston, and it was great. So Eddie Kingston just says, he saw his friend, all messed up, and he felt really bad. And then when he went to cover him, he heard everything go down, and he got a whole bunch of anxiety, like when he was going to Rikers, like when he's going to prison, and then he passed out. You call him a pansy. You can make fun of him.
Who called it?
I know.
Who called it?
I was
this
getting ready to say
guy.
that. JJ called that exact storyline, like the exact thing to a T.
Perfect.
And then, of course, Moxley was having fun with it, too, when he's like, well, you could have came out a little bit more because I was getting my ass kicked for 18 minutes or whatever it was before you came out. And then he goes, I went through hell and back, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. But it's a pretty sweet
I did
T-shirt.
like that.
Yeah.
Which is a T-shirt that Nick bought during the match.
I bought it immediately before the match.
As soon as you saw it, you went on Shop AEW, you bought it, and then that happened. You're like, oh.
Yeah,
There was a tinge of buyer's remorse. It was one of those things where I had to rationalize my purchase afterwards. Like, well, it was a good match overall, but it still hurt. Deep down it hurt.
I like the other thing. Moxley did like 4 zingers in a row, and the first one he has is like, boy, Impact must have paid for that bomb.
Yes,
I love that. I wrote that one down.
Good.
It was great. It was what was needed. It was stark contrast. This would have been an opening segment on a WWE show if they even didn't just sweep it under the rug, which they probably would have.
Oh yeah, they totally would have.
What does AEW do? They give you a stellar match, and then they fix the issue with the promo from the pay-per-view. Great.
It was gold. I mean, it was gold. Like we already know, WWE definitely wouldn't have said anything like Bianca Belair's feet touching. Nope. Nope.
I'm glad you're not letting that go, by the way.
I'll never let it go. Ever.
One can only suspend disbelief for so long.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks for the Taoism.
You're welcome.
It just chimes in and then leads us straight to dead air.
I know. It's like, God,
Thanks, Nick.
fucking Taoism. All right.
He's just mad because lead
I'm the master of the pregnant
pyrotechnician over here failed at his job, and he's taking it out on us.
Yeah. I feel like he's projecting on us right now. All right. So the next.
Do you need some Gargano therapy, Nick?
What's that?
Do you need some Gargano family therapy? All right, that's all I wanted to get.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing was a match, and it was a match between Cody Rhodes and some schmuck. It wasn't much of anything. You could definitely tell they're protecting Cody's shoulder, like it was 100%.
No. 30-second match that ended with a figure 4. Really?
Yeah, he couldn't even do his damn crossroads. Well, anyway, he wins, and then Tony Schiavone comes out to do a quick little interview, and then like, oh, we want to know about your shoulder. He's like, oh, my shoulder, and then now we're here, no, and it's none other than one of my personal favorites, and Pentagon Jr. or Penta El Sierra Mato, whatever you want to call him, Pentagon. was out there talking smack. One of my favorite lines from the whole thing of him talking smack was, "If you are the prince of pro wrestling, then I am the lord of lucha libre."
There better be a Lord of Lucha Libre t-shirt somewhere, because I need that on my body.
I bet it's going to be at Republic of Lucha, which their online store comes alive Friday, everybody.
Oh, we're going to spend so much money. Okay.
Yes. Jamie got his tax return.
Oh, shit.
Don't get choked up
You okay
over it,
there,
man.
Nick?
Don't get choked up.
It's like
I
it's
spent
okay.
my last t-shirt money on the deathmatch shirt.
I know it hurts. It hits hard. It's okay. It's okay. Come here, baby. I'll console you. Okay.
I'll be all right. Just give me a minute.
I doubt that, but okay.
Amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic.
I'm gonna try and get back on topic. Pentagon was, you know me. Pentagon's my favorite, and not even question. He is my number one favorite on Dynamite, and his mic skills, because he speaks very rough English. He can speak plenty of English. He's not like a lot of the Japanese women, we'll talk about in a little bit here, that don't speak like hardly any English. He speaks plenty of English. It's very poor. Let's just put it that way. So he had Alex Abrahantes translating, but even when he doesn't, if he is so masterful, his charisma just oozes from him. And I didn't know that I wanted Cody Rhodes and Pentagon to feud, but I do. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I do now, for sure. Like, just Pentagon, couldn't understand a word he said, but I was in. I'm like, yep.
Yeah,
let's go.
you just love him. You don't care. It's like I can't speak Spanish for crap, and I'm just like, see. Wow, that was insensitive. I think maybe a little bit. But the last dig. Tell about the last dig he did before they got going.
Yeah, so he basically said that he would hurt him so bad that he wouldn't be able to lift his newborn baby girl. And that's when Cody lost it, and then a brawl ensued. Everybody brawl.
Yes, please, more of this.
So then after that, we had a really weird segment next. Like, it was really I just didn't get it.
This made no sense.
Yeah.
No.
So Tony Schiavone said he was going to interview Sting. So he's like, "This is Sting," like he always does. And he comes out and he starts talking about how dangerous Darby Allin is and all this. And next thing you know,
which that made sense. That part to me was fine, right?
Yeah, it was fine. But I'm like, okay, why are you putting
The first half?
Yeah,
made sense.
He started putting over Darby, which he's giving him the rub, which is great. But then out of nowhere, Lance Archer just shows up, and I didn't understand what the hell he was talking about, and two, didn't know why he was even there. Like, literally, he goes, he says that this is a waste of their time, and it's like, yeah, you're wasting my time. I don't know what the hell you get to a point, buddy. And then he's like, if they're not given time, then they're gonna take time, basically. Basically saying that he's been cast off to the shadows and whatever. So it seems like him and Sting are gonna feud or something like that, which is great because Sting getting beat up by a big guy just sounds really good for his neck. It's just weird.
I threw an idea which I was in love with after Revolution about Lance Archer, feuding with Miro because he's face, and they're just I don't know. This whole thing just made no sense, and I just don't even want to think about it. It's kind of like Nick. I just don't want to think about it.
Well, I know we got more stuff to talk about. There's a few matches of this episode that have the same common problem. That was a little redundant. They got a common problem, and that is you get a lopsided matchup. I don't think Cody for 2 seconds is going to be able to keep up with Pentagon. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm curious to see it. And
are you saying that because of his shoulder state right now, or just in general?
More of the shoulder state, but in general to a degree. Cody's great. Don't get me wrong. I love Cody. He's the Godfather, and he is super talented. So not taking anything away from him, but yeah, in this moment in time, I think it'll be a little lopsided. I will let it breathe. I don't want to, knock it yet, but I'm a little reticent.
I hear you. I mean, personally, I'm much more for Cody feuding with like Pentagon than going after a title or something, because
I'm with you there.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
it almost takes Pentagon and Cody to a point where these other younger kids can really develop on their own and do some stuff, or feud with Sting, I guess, or I don't know, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that was weird. It definitely wasn't one of the parts that pissed me off, but it was weird. So next we have the NBA All-Star Game. I mean, I'm sorry. We have All Ego Ethan Page's Dynamite debut against Big Shotty Lee Johnson with QT Marshall. And they were trying to do an interview with QT Marshall right before, and that's when the audio from the NBA All-Star Game came in, like their crowd noise, which was weird because you hear defense, and all this.
You can still kind of hear the commentary behind it too.
Dude, it was really overbearing.
Yeah, you could barely hear it. So this whole match, like that's all. This whole match was about this. It was about the sound, and the funny, like I found it kind of funny that it started right before the match, and then the sound quality got fixed like right after the match.
I know, right? So you have Matt Sydal comes over, big signee. He was last in Impact, botches hard a shooting star press in the Battle Royal, and then he's buried after that. Here comes Ethan Page, big signee from Impact, jacked up audio for his first match. It's like, what is this? Is this like a secret like war that they're having? Tony Khan's having with Impact? I don't know. It was
Well,
put your tinfoil hat on.
yeah.
It's a little
So
weird.
Ethan Page won, and then he started beating up on Lee Johnson right afterwards, and QT Marshall just walks away. So they're full on heel turn for QT Marshall. Who gives a damn?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I could care less about this, and
Yeah.
they're not. To me, this is the part that was like Lance Archer. They haven't explained this for crap. Why should we? We haven't seen QT Marshall other than a couple dark matches here and there. We haven't seen him since he was getting cuckolded by the bunny. So,
I mean, I don't blame him.
Whatever. He was getting cuckolded by the bunny for the bunny's husband, which is even more.
That was a weird thing. That was
Yeah. I mean, I've been into some weird stuff on the internet, but that's.
I'm glad you stopped there.
That's. Yeah. Let's swiftly move on from that, please.
All right. So let's get to the part of the show that pisses Jamie off, shall we? It feels incredibly very WWE, with what I'm getting ready to go over. So Tony Schiavone comes out.
Wait. If I can.
Yeah.
Before you did that, to give you a little levity before you get into the part that you're not going to like. The Dark Order had a real quick promo.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
With Adam Page. So Adam Page is out there. They're in a very fake, like, grass area thing. And I can't remember who it is. One of the backstage announcer guys is there. And he comes up and asks him what he did. He said, I bought six cases of whiskey and I got this lawnmower. I donated most of the rest of the money to the Jacksonville, whatever, this and that. And then you hear the Dark Order come in and they're like, hey, you got room on that for... Oh, he also bought... the complete Dwight Yoakam on vinyl. He made sure to let everybody know that.
Yes.
Which is great. And then the Dark Order comes in and they're like, they're going to go get a bite to eat. And they're like, can we get a ride? He's like, yeah, sure, hop on. So everybody hops on except for 5, who they all stop. And Paige just goes, whoa. There's a weight limit on these things. Jeez, 5? So he's fitting in nicely in his role of the soon-to-be Dark Order leader. They're back to just shitting on 5, which is great. I love 5 to death.
My favorite is also when he took off, it did a wheelie.
I know.
And Colt Cabana jumped off. Like you see him just go, fuck this, I'm just jumping.
So a little bit of levity, and then I'll let you get into the part.
I appreciate that. That might soften the blow for this one.
Yeah.
Crack your knuckles, Jamie. Let's get into it.
All right, so Tony Schiavone comes out, and he's going to interview the latest talent acquisition that everybody is so underwhelmingly excited for, Christian Cage. So he says he's coming, and the next thing you know, Kenny Omega's music hits, and I'm like, okay, yes, let's go with some Kenny Omega. Let's do this. So Kenny Omega comes out with his club. I'm not calling it the Bullet Club. I won't do them the disservice. But Don Callis and the Good Brothers are all out there, and then Don Callis just cuts this huge ass promo, just dogging on everybody and everything. Like, you know, you guys, it's your time, but we take time because we call the shots around here, blah blah blah. And then he's like, you know, he took away that huge moment from everybody, that big explosion for everybody. They can confirm nor deny they had any part in that, which I thought was pretty great.
Callis is great. His exact line was, we took away what you thought you wanted.
Yes.
It's like, oh, Callis, you're so good on the mic. He's so good on the mic.
Mm-hmm. And then he started making fun of Eddie Kingston for passing out, which there's a really good part here shortly. But Eddie Kingston comes out, and they're all just giving him a whole bunch of crap. Like, you know, what are you going to do? You're all by yourself. And then Kingston, like, takes off his hat, takes off his necklace, and, like, looks like he's going to throw down because it's Eddie Kingston. That's what Eddie Kingston does. And then there's this part where they're like, you know, Omega's like, oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Don, cover me. 69 me. Like,
right. Well, they were giving him 10 seconds. So
yes.
Like, so basically, Callis just rips in Kingston because Kingston was released from Impact Wrestling. Callis was in charge at the time when he was. So they're playing on that personal angle and doing all this, and he's just ripping into him. And they go, because we have a history, because I know you, this is what we're going to give you. We're going to give you a chance, give you 10 seconds to leave. And they do the same countdown that they had from the death match. And while they're doing it, Kenny Omega then gets on the ground and he does that. He's like, they were saying that he was basically 69ing John on Sunday is what the joke was.
Yeah. And he's like 69 me, which I thought was...
It was great. It came out of nowhere. It's like, would he just say 69 me to another man on TV?
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did, Bob.
Leave it based to the tweeting of the awkward guy with the eyebrows raising.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. Then right after that, so they start working over Eddie. Moxley comes out, and then Moxley and Eddie work over the Good Brothers. And then this is the WWE moment that really pisses me the hell off. Christian Cage's music hits, and he comes out. They have a little stare down, and I wouldn't say that there was a big time skirmish between them, but Kenny was going to try to hit him, and then it hit Christian. Christian counters it and tries to do an unprettier. Don Callis pulls Omega out of the ring, and then Christian Cage picks up the title. It's just...
It doesn't say a word.
No.
He was talking to Kenny, but he didn't say a word to us or any, audible. The pop that Kingston got. Now remember, there's like maybe 1,000 people there. Mm-hmm. Maybe. I think this past Sunday they had their biggest crowd at 1,400 people. So, once again, it's all like COVID related, like limited and all that stuff. But so there's maybe 1,000 people there, probably about 600, 700, fans in the crowd, and Kingston got a mega pop.
Mm-hmm.
Mega. That's where this should go. Not with Cage. Don't, like I said before, if you're bringing Cage in to be a developmental guy, which he should be, because he's got the history, he's got the knowledge, he can work matches. I mean, let him learn these youths. But if you're taking him to just put him straight into a title picture, that's like, come on.
Yeah, this was the second occasion of the mismatch. I mean, if they're going to go with Kenny Omega versus Christian, really?
I know.
Maybe they won't, but it kind of appears that that's the way they're going to go. And
well, they're being ambiguous about it, because they're laying the ground road for Kingston versus Omega, but then they're simultaneously like, or maybe it's Christian versus them. So they're not really, they're not really tipping their hand. I want to see Adam Page now that he's kind of done with his Hardy feud. or I think he's done with his Hardy feud. I'd like to see Paige move into. That's what we should have it all out. Is Paige and Omega, with Omega's club behind him and the Dark Order behind Paige. That's your headline match for
There
All
you
Out.
go.
That's what I want to see long-term booking, but who knows? Maybe it's Christian Cage. We'll see.
Yeah, this thing just pisses me off. Okay, here we go. So,
Well, the next match will make you feel better.
yes, absolutely. But okay, so on this whole thing, I'm just going to get on my soapbox real quick.
Sure.
He is doing the exact damn thing that Edge is doing. Like, oh, I want to come back. I want to be in the title picture. Okay, we'll do what you want because you were semi-famous at one point in time. Yet most people are like, who the hell are you? You mid-carder. Yeah, great. That's what we got. We got a guy who primarily lived in mid-card hell in WWE. He was in TNA, which back then was technically mid-card, even though they had top-tier talent. And I'm not disputing they had a great talent roster back then. I didn't like him then. I don't like him now. I never liked Christian. And the whole thought of him jumping the line just because he's a 55 year old man just who all of a sudden got medically cleared like 3 months ago, jumping the line over everybody is ridiculous to me. They have so much better talent. Like you said, Eddie Kingston, Adam Page. Like, let's do one of them. Like, damn. Like, don't Bruce Pritchard me on my favorite show, please.
Well,
Well said, Jamie.
Let's just take a breath and let's see what they do with it, because even if he gets like a shot and it's quick and it ends and then it moves on fast from that, let's see how they go with this, because we're assuming that they're going to do the WWE thing. We don't know that for sure, so let's see what happens.
Sure feels like it, Bob.
Well, it's too early to make that. I'm just saying, just breathe. Give me a woo-saw.
No.
Just relax. You remember, you're not Nick. You don't have to be all agitated all the time. It's okay.
Well, I'm not going to be agitated for very much longer. Because you know why?
Why's
The
that?
trios match is up next.
Yeah!
And that is between Hikaru Shida, Ryo Mizunami, Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, and Maki Itoh!
Maki Itoh!
So this is... I don't even care. The match kind of sucked. It was just a little bit all over the place, but I don't even care. Because I will tell you this.
The start was glorious.
Yeah, the start made the match. So... Britt Baker comes out, then Nyla Rose comes out, and then Maki Itoh comes out, and she starts doing her song and everything. Well, while she's doing her song, Hikaru Shida, Ryo Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa hit the ring and start just beating the hell out of everybody else. And here's Maki Itoh, still finishing her entrance song. Just did the whole damn thing.
Does not give an F.
Yeah, she just sang her whole song the whole time, and then... Right when she got done, Sheeta comes up and she just gives her the weakest pop with a microphone I've probably ever seen, but it still was perfect. It's a little.
It was a kiss. It was a kiss with the mic on the forehead.
Yeah. So she starts out in the match, which I loved. She went for the headbutt. I forgot what Excalibur calls it.
I don't know, but the falling headbutt thing, she goes off the ropes and then just...
Yeah, does her falling side headbutt. Misses
great,
that one. There's just some back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Maki Itoh does officially... We're just going to talk about Maki Itoh. I don't even care about the rest. Maki Itoh does hit her headbutt on Thunder Rosa.
Ashida. Oh, it's Rosa. That's
Yes. Then there's some stuff that happens, and the very end was... It had the... I can't even talk. The end had Thunder Rosa and Maki Itoh in there, and... Vicky Guerrero got up to distract the referee, and Rebel came to try to hit Thunder Rosa with her
Crutch.
Thank you, Jesus, Jamie. Words.
It's spreading. I passed it on to you.
Yeah, it was vocally transmitted. So she tries to hit Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa blocks it, and then she smacks her with.
She does her like pile driver thingy bob and gets
yeah. Then she does her pile driver thing. And
the last third of the match got really sloppy.
Yes.
Ironically, when Ryo Mizunami went to go to make a run is when it started to get sloppy as all F. I'm sorry, Ryo Mizunami did not look great in this match. Her attempt to oversell just pisses me off. I don't know.
She's
why.
awful. She's the worst. We've had several matches that we've had to spend time with her recently, and it's the same thing every time. There's going to be a little bit of repetition, I get it, but her repetition is standing in the center of the ring and just kind of dancing around like an idiot for
Yeah.
30 seconds, burning all that time just to run into the corner and give you a quick chop.
I mean,
then-
her overselling
You
of
know
this
what I
crap
mean?
with the rope pull and all this stuff and the stupid
it's
wiggle
terrible.
dance. It makes me look back and say, wow, Sky 2 Hottie's worm dance was very minimal exercise compared to this crap.
Yes. So,
But the last third got real sloppy after that.
but then there was a payoff. There was a good payoff at the very end.
Absolutely.
So, other than we got to see Maki Itoh on national television,
Yes.
which was by far the highlight of the entire show.
Wow.
I'm part of
You're a king simp over here.
I told you, I'm
Okay.
the general of the simp army. I'm going to talk to my wife and see if we can work out where I can marry her too. We might have to move to Utah, so it might be a little bit different. So,
Wow.
yeah, I just went there.
Yeah, you did.
So, anyway, so the payoff was right after Thunder Rosa picked up the victory. Britt Baker comes in and just mollywops her with a freaking crutch. And then they all, between her, Rebel, and Nyla Rose, like they just start beating the shit out of everybody. And then Britt Baker gets Thunder Rosa into a lockjaw, and while she's got her a lockjaw, Rebel comes over with a crutch and is like just raking it across her face and everything. So the formation of the Bite Club is, I think, a thing that is definitely happening because all of them stood tall at the end, other than Maki Itoh was kind of off the side because she's the one who got, took the L, if you will. But yeah, so that was a big payoff for me, and that's going to turn out to be the main event of next week's Dynamite. It's a lights out, unsanctioned match even.
First female main event in AEW history. About damn time.
And it's those two, and I am here for it.
Absolutely.
There should be a belt involved in this, but once again, Thunder Rosa's not officially signed, so whatever.
They got to be working on that. They got to be.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, the problem is the and I can't remember what was it, MLW? No, it's not MLW. It's shit.
NWA.
Yeah, NWA. We don't know if NWA is coming back now. They're not coming back. She was under contract with NWA.
Yeah.
So she had signed that, and so I don't think she can technically sign with. I mean, they have a working relationship, but she couldn't just sign a AEW contract until that one is done. I believe is the issue.
Yeah.
Anywho, she's here to stay. We know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Let's stop pussyfooting around.
Yeah,
It's
Thunder Rosa equals ratings. Let's just be real.
no doubt. She basically brought that fresh air back into the women's division.
She made them relevant again.
She really did.
Or not even again. Just relevant. All right.
She put the women's division into overdrive.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So next we have the TNT Championship match.
You missed Matt Hardy.
Oh, yeah, the Matt Hardy thing. Sorry. Yes. So Matt Hardy was eating grapes, which I still don't get the whole...
He's literally eating sour grapes. I thought it was great.
Yeah, which was the thing on Being the Elite as well. Like, because he's on the grapes again. Like, I thought that was kind of, like, funny, but now let's continue
Yeah,
on to
whatever.
He has hired 3 more people. He's hired the Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny. So the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny are no longer with Kingston whatsoever. They have no affiliation with him. They are part of...
Kingston's turned face now with Moxley. So
Yeah, it was a quick turn there. So, go ahead.
I dig them in Hardy's stable. If Hardy ever turns back to become broken, Butcher and Blade and Bunny fit the broken universe. Fantastic. I hope this is a long play. I really do. I thought that actually gets me thinking about good things. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree. So that is a thing that happened. Then we get to the TNT Championship match. I wanted more than what we got.
It was a really good match, but I don't know. I'm like you. I wasn't like in the mood for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like the placement of it was wrong. I felt like this could have
I
been
don't know.
like, and Darby puts on.
And
great
it was objectively a good match, really, when you think about it. There's some great
wasn't a
spots
long
in
match.
it.
It was not a long match.
It was not long, but there were some great spots. There was a tope suicida, which led to a diamond cutter on the outside, which was freaking awesome.
I love that. So I feel like it had more building blocks. Again, more building block style, because this is a Fallout show, because they got set up all the new feuds and everything like that. So it was a great match. There was, the tope suicida into the cutter, which I thought was great. There was also a spot where Scorpio Sky was doing the 3 German suplexes in a row, like Kurt Angle style. And then on the third one, Darby was fighting with him a little bit, and he hit him on his back a few times. And then when he did the release on the third one, he actually released him right into the turnbuckle, and it looked like it hurt so bad.
It was hard, yeah.
So, good match overall. It ended up. I liked how they did the squeak out. Darby Allin won via a roll up, so I thought that was really good.
It was interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Again, you don't need to always use a effing finisher.
You don't have to use the same finisher to win a match. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So after this, you could see the disappointment in Scorpio Sky's face. Darby Allin comes over to him, hits him on the back, like, hey, good job, good effort. Scorpio Sky took extreme offense to this, and then he got him in a ankle lock, and he held on tight, and Darby's ankle looked like it was legit twisted sideways. It looked painful. So we officially have a heel turn, like we all thought was possibly coming, and Scorpio Sky, he is now heel.
They even made mention of it in a little bit later, because he walked out through the heel tunnel, and Tony Schiavone actually even mentioned it. And Scorpio's been on commentary the last couple of weeks. He's been getting more and more arrogant. This is, writing is on the wall. I'm good with it. All of SCU is better as the arrogant heel. When they were the best as a faction, they were just dicks. That's where the worst, like the worst place I've ever been t-shirts come from, because that's always how they would introduce wherever they were at. They are best like that. They're fine as face, but they're one of those like MJF. They're better as a heel.
Do not disagree with that.
Not at all.
So I'll take arrogant Scorpio Sky any day. Cool.
So this gets us to there was no main event. It was the Inner Circle War Cancel.
I would call this the main event, okay?
Yeah, I mean, technically.
It wasn't a match, but this was the main event for sure. They did announce next week's show as the St. Patrick's Day Slam, by the way.
Yes.
So you have the main event with the women. You have Mox and Eddie Kingston versus the Good Brothers. Rhodes versus Pentagon next week. That surprised me
already. I mean,
I don't know how Cody is going to do it unless he takes a bunch of steroids. Who knows? Maybe. And then you have Butcher and Blade and Private Party versus Jurassic Express and Bear Country. Kudos to Bear Country getting a Dynamite pop.
Yeah.
And Jade Cargill will be in action. So that's the card they announced.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks like it's still gonna be a good card. So I'm there for it. All right. So the second best moment, other than us seeing Maki Itoh, was this for sure. Actually, this was probably the best. I'm just saying. I mean, yeah. You know what I mean. All right.
You're just fanboying out. It's okay.
I am. I just love her whole shtick. But anyway, speaking of my favorite wrestler, arguably of all time, and Chris Jericho, him and the rest of the Inner Circle come out, and they're looking to shake things up. Maybe add somebody to the roster, and then that's when MJF goes, whoa, I was actually thinking the opposite, getting rid of somebody. And then as soon as he said that, Sammy Guevara's entrance music hit. He came through the face tunnel. Make sure everybody caught that. And he goes, I got something to show you, Chris. And Chris is like, I told you I never want to talk to you. He's like, no, we've been through everything from Dynamite episode 1 till now. You need to watch this. And then it's a camera that was set up in the locker room or the lounge room of the Inner Circle, if you will. And then a whole bunch of fast travel time, whatever. And it gets to a spot where MJF goes, hey, tonight's the night. We're gonna kick dirt onto Jericho. And he's officially out. I'm officially gonna be the leader of the Inner Circle. And it's like, oh, what he said is starting to come true. So then
it's coming, and it was to Hagar and Proud and Powerful.
Yes, this is to Hagar and Proud and Powerful. So those guys said that they were in, and then they're like, okay, let's get Jericho. So Jericho and Sammy are ready to duke it out, and then Proud and Powerful and Hagar just slowly moved towards them, like you could tell something was up, and then Jericho just kind of gave him the look, and then they flipped around and they looked right at MJF, and it's like, do you think we don't talk to each other every day? We've been waiting for this. Like, we were waiting for you to bury yourself and all this, and like, so they're getting ready to beat his ass, and then MJF goes, whoa, Chris. I never wanted your group. I never, ever wanted your group, because I was too busy making my own. Lights hit, like blackout, and then lights get turned back on. FTR, Wardlow, Sean Spears, and Tully Blanchard all in the ring, and chaos ensued. They just started beating the hell out of everybody. Wardlow looked amazing. Like, I want more.
Wardlow was a freaking stud tonight, yo.
Yeah. So they started doing their thing. They handcuffed Proud and Powerful.
Yeah, Proud and Powerful. They handcuffed their arms behind their back.
Yeah. So they did that. And then they did pile drivers on those.
Sammy took a stupid shot through a chair that was propped up in like the corner. It was.
Yeah, he did. It was sticking out of his
Yeah,
eye.
it was like almost like a curb stomp. So Sean Spears put a chair between the second and third turnbuckle, the middle and the bottom, I should say. And then he drug Sammy over there, and he grabbed Sammy's arms behind his back, and then he kicked his head through the
curb stomped him through the chair that was elevated between two ropes. It was great. The FTR just opened it by smashing a champagne bottle, a little bit of the bubbly, over Jake Hager's head. It was brutal and glorious.
So it culminated with MJF using his diamond TNT ring and hitting Jericho in the head, causing Jericho to bleed. Well, then they pick up Jericho and they drag him over onto the entrance ramp. And Wardlow delivers a ginormous powerbomb of Jericho off of the entrance onto some tables that have been set up conveniently on the floor. And all of the new, what I'm coining, horsemen standing tall.
I mean, we said last week when Sean Spears came out that we were so amped up and giddy. At least we were. I don't know if Nick was or not. Nick's.
No, I'm glad to see him.
Okay, good. Thanks for the commentary. Chime in.
I was worried about him.
Oh, well, yeah. We were worried about him, or you were worried about Peyton Royce?
No, I was worried about Sean Spears. I missed
Dude,
the
talk
guy.
about Peyton Royce. We got. That promo.
Good God. Oh, her promo.
Mm-hmm.
But we were saying, when he came out, we're like, they're doing it. They're reforming it. It's the new iteration of the Four Horsemen. And in TNA, when Ric Flair was there, they had Fortune, which is the same thing. And they have different versions in WWE and WCW. And it's all they need is that main event guy. And it's blatantly obvious, and we didn't see it, but it's freaking MJF. And you got Wardlow too, so you have, because it's a little bit different. You got 5 horsemen, but still, yeah. I love everything about this. It's fan-freaking-tastic.
Oh, Nick disapproves.
You don't like this, Nick?
It's just bad storytelling.
How is it bad?
How is it bad storytelling?
What is wrong with you?
I mean, come on. I mean, you go out there. Everything. I mean, what was going to happen? If MJF had this master plan, right? So MJF goes out there, and so what would happen if Santana Ortiz and Hager, did what they were supposed to do and just whipped up on Jericho and Sammy Guevara? Well, then what? Now he's got a double faction.
But he was counting on them he was counting on them to talk to Jericho.
Nah.
It's chess. He knows what they're gonna do. Okay.
Nah.
What?
Nah, that's just bad storytelling.
Oh my God.
That's just bad storytelling's all that is. And then I mean, look at who came out again. It was Spears.
It was good. Spears, FTR.
Tully.
Yeah, we geeked out about this a week ago. If you don't remember, because Spears got.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, well, you just. I swear.
You know what I want?
I might lock you out of this
I want
podcast.
solo MJF back. That's what I want.
Well, you got
Just
Ric Flair MJF now. That's what you got.
I get it. Yeah.
And
you
I'm here
don't
for
want
it.
him in a faction at all, is what you're saying. You want him to.
That you're damn right.
Well, the problem is though, if he's not gonna contend for a title, he's just gonna swim? Is he gonna feud against Orange Cassidy or whatever, or is he just gonna go up in the middle? Like, what's he gonna do? This gives him some direction, and because look at Jericho. Jericho lost the title and has been just as relevant since he lost the title to Moxley because he's part of this faction and they can do a multitude of different angles and things. It gives him more.
But the inner circle
breadth.
is a lot better than this other.
You don't
thing.
know yet.
We don't know.
You don't
it
even
just
know.
formed.
I know.
It just happened.
I know.
Dude,
I know.
don't let your view of WWE factions taint your eyes. This is gonna be fine.
That's what it is. You're seeing shades of retribution and crap, and it's okay. It's not the same.
There may be some truth to that.
I think there is.
I mean, because here's the thing: WWE has what, one good faction right now, one in the Hurt Business, and that's it. The Hurt
Who's
Business.
Hurt
They're,
business.
they're pretty great right now.
Oh,
You gotta
yeah,
admit they're
yeah.
pretty. Great
I
right
mean,
now.
that's a solid faction.
And that's it.
It kind of snuck up on me. That's why I haven't really paid
Yeah,
attention to it.
they
yet.
were unassuming at first, like, oh, what's this? MVP, decent mic skills, whatever. And then now they're super relevant and like they're dripping in gold. Undisputed Era is done.
$5,000 suits, just looking hot. Apparently, Lashley wants to get a woman in the Hurt Business too, which okay, cool.
Yes,
You know?
I'm here for it.
I love it. But yeah, there's nothing else good faction wise in WWE.
And then
There's only really one other faction, really, if you think about it, with the Undisputed Era now gone.
yeah, this is Retribution, which we know what kind of shit show that is. But you've seen them come and go in the WWE, and honestly, you've kind of seen them come and go in AEW as well, like with the Nightmare Family and all these other things that they've done.
Nightmare Family is still technically a thing, but yeah.
Well, what was Brandy's one? The
Natural Night. No, that's the name of QT Marshall's tag team. I don't know. It was like the Nightmare Women or something. The thing with Awesome Kong.
yeah, it lasted like 3
2
weeks and it
weeks.
died. Yeah. So like you're gonna see things like that, But I think since you got the star power of MJF, it makes so much more sense that this is relevant and this is gonna work. And you got Tully Blanchard, and you got FTR, and you got Sean Spears just
It
sprinkled in there.
follows the formula that works, and that's that Four Horsemen formula. The reason the Four Horsemen was around for so long, and the fact that it was replicated in so many other ways. I made Fortune reference for those of you that are TNA fanboys. And this is the same thing. You have the same formula: a tag team, an enforcer, and a star. And they have 2 enforcers here, but still, it's the same thing. You have a tag team, one of the best tag teams in the world, FTR. You have Wardlow looked every bit the enforcer. So did Spears. I'm good with having 2 enforcers, and you have a legitimate top contender star. That's a winning formula, no matter how you cut it.
And a man.
You can go a multitude of directions. You can go all sorts of places. Who knows? They keep teasing the idea of Blood and Guts, and I would love to see Blood and Guts is their variation of War Games, which they were going to do before the COVID hit, right? Mm-hmm. I want to see MJF's 5 Horsemen versus the Inner Circle and Blood and Guts, because that would just tear the roof off.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So Nick, you probably heard this in college. Just
I didn't go to college.
fair enough.
Well, what? No means no. I mean,
No, you probably heard
that's
this.
a bit
Well,
far.
you've probably heard. Somebody's probably told you this.
You heard that.
Somebody's probably told you this in your past. Just the tip, just for a second, see how it feels.
Nobody's ever told me.
I'm sure
that.
Dexter Loomis would tell you that.
He definitely would.
I'm just saying. Just just the tip.
Give her a shot. Just give her a shot. I get what you're saying, though. MJF is fantastic on his own. He is. I think this is glorious, though. I'm with you, Jamie. I'm totally bought into this. I love it.
Yep. So that was Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. Great
That was the
show.
show. That
Great
was the show. I did want to. You brought it up, so one last thing we want to talk about here. Actually, no, we'll talk about it on our next one, because as you know, we do 2 of these every week. One of them's about WWE, and one of them's about AEW. So I'm going to save that little bit. I was going to talk about Peyton Royce's promo, but we'll talk about that on Tuesday because that is our time for WWE. So overall, Dynamite, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was very... Because really, it's only 4 matches. I don't know if you even want to count the Cody Rhodes match as a match.
No.
Even Arn Anderson's looking at his watch like, really? That was it? But still, for a follow-up show, for a Fallout show, it was good. They covered their bases with the deathmatch botch, which to me was the biggest thing. So kudos to that. Let's see where everything goes here. So, Nick, do you have any other final thoughts about this week's Dynamite or anything in general, or you're just going to sit here and piss me off more?
If there, no guarantees there. If there is one thing about AEW that I value, they adapt very quickly and they do keep their ear to the ground. Recent examples is how quickly they picked up Maki Itoh and pushed her accordingly. Another thing is how they adapted with the botched ring explosion.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to bank on this ability of theirs to regroup and do the right thing, because right now it looks like we're staring down the barrel of Kenny Omega versus Christian and Pentagon versus Cody Rhodes with a gimp arm. And who else did we have? There was some other
Lance
horrible
Archer and
matchup.
Sting.
Thank you. Yes, there's another one. And then I'll let this new faction breathe a little bit. I'm not thrilled about it, but
Dude, can you ever be positive about one damn
Seriously,
thing?
the most, this was a very good show. Was this a 5-star show? No, it wasn't. We did not have like we had a couple of weeks, like a few months ago, where we had Phoenix versus Pentagon that just blew our effing minds, and But no, it just whatever. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
The way that I see it is, you guys are glasses half full types. You got a whole glass would be a good WWE show and a good AEW show. That's a full glass. So we know we're not going to get half of that glass. Just, that's just not going to happen. So we got the AEW half. That's the half full part that you guys are enjoying. But, from where I'm standing, this glass is empty. I got nothing. I'm thirsty.
Hey,
I'm thirsty.
Nick, do you like
for some good
wrestling? Because I don't even know if you like wrestling.
It's one of them. It's one of them questions. I'm gonna have to kind of look within and wonder, do you like wrestling, Nick? Because basically, I tune in a couple, 2-3 times a week and just kind of get annoyed.
Well, ironic.
Are my expectations too high for these shows?
Well, man,
are my standards too high?
I tell you what.
For this?
I tell you what, Nick. I'm gonna do you a favor. So you're suspended. We're gonna suspend you for a little bit here. So
what are you talking about?
Take a little time. Don't worry.
What are you talking about? You're gonna suspend?
Yeah,
well,
you're suspended.
Well, here's the thing. You need to enjoy wrestling. You don't want to be these damn keyboard warrior types who all they do is just bitch and moan about wrestling. You actually got to like it. If you're going to be on our show, which is an amazing show, by the way, which you can hear on all of your things and see us on Twitter at Total Spotfest or on YouTube, you got to absolutely love it like we do. You are just negative.
So what am I?
Some bitch right now.
You're in the corner.
Enzo
You're in the
over
corner.
here or
You need to take a step back. You need to breathe.
What am I the CM Punk of Total Spotfest now? Is that what's going on?
I'm not calling
here?
you that bad. Don't worry. I'm not calling you that bad of a performer. Not yet.
Am I the X-Pac of DX? What the hell is this?
You're kind of getting there for me. You better stop and you will get some X-Pac heat.
You're developing X-Pac heat to Jamie. So
I'll tell you what. You just email over that disciplinary form and I'll sign that bitch.
do not look forward to hearing from Nick Stellar one-word chime-ins for a couple shows here. We're going to put him on timeout. So, Jamie, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, other than I was gonna say, other than Nick's a piece of shit, no, I'm good.
Well, okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We do appreciate it. Catch us, as Jamie said, on Twitter at Total Spotfest. You can catch up on YouTube, Total Spotfest Live. As always, we are available at all the places you get your podcasts. Please give us a like, a subscribe, join the conversation. If you want to get our individual Twitters, you can definitely get that on YouTube through any of our videos. If you want to, please go grab Nick's Twitter and just tell him how much of a terrible person he is, just in general.
Yeah, send me some hate mail. I'll just.
That's
laugh
okay.
at
You'll have
it.
plenty of time for the foreseeable future to answer that hate mail. So thank you guys for joining us. We're back every Tuesday and Thursday. Next Tuesday, we will be back with our NXT and WWE Power Hour. Jamie, take us home.
Well, if you're not down with TSL, I got 8 words for you. Nick, step in my office. You're fucking fired.
Nothing else needs to be said. Thanks, guys.
Bye.